All right, happy Thursday. Another wild game. We had another wild day, I should say. We had some very interesting late innings that worked against us in several games, so that was cool. Let's see, Washington, Baltimore. Let's start with our bets. Over 9 did not happen. Both Hers and Kreimer just pitched wonderful games. Runners on base everywhere. Couldn't get the job done. Dodgers team total over 4.5. Scored 3 in the first. I was thinking, okay, this is about as free as it gets. We just need 2 the rest of the game. No, no, they got 1. Um, Absolutely crazy. That I would have bet everything on that. Oakland Mets easily went over there. The Mets took care of business. Dodgers money line. No, again, I mean, I don't think a run was scored past the 4th inning. So I think maybe the Dodgers scored 1 more. So very disappointed there. Toronto and the Angels. Toronto just took care of business. Ended up crossing this line by themselves. Reds money line, beautiful. Very sweat free there. Reds just swept the Cardinals in pretty dramatic fashion. Just gave them a good old beat down every game. Our parlays. Dodgers didn't come through. Seattle lost in extras. Seattle was up 2-0, gave up a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 8th, and then didn't score in the 10th and gave up a walk-off single in the bottom of the 10th. Houston was up 1-0. Houston won this game on 2 hits. They ended up winning 2-1 in extras on 2 hits. Pretty wild. Boston. Good old Boston. I mean, we should have had a winning day. This should have been a really, really good day. Boston was up 3, so let's go back 1. They were up 1, and in the 8th, Duran made an error catching a baseball, so they ended up tying it up. And then the 9th, they're up 3 at that point, so just got to get 3 outs. Well, the guy came in and gave up 2 hits. We had a routine double play that would have ended the game. Couldn't turn it. And then, of course, the very next batter hits a 3-run game-tying home run. Boom. And, yeah, they ended up losing in extras, so that was pretty gut-wrenching. That was really awesome. Let's see. Cleveland and KC got it done for us. Thank God. Thank God for those 2 teams. Goddamn heroes. Anyway. All right, so we went 7 and 8. Just a couple of bad beats. I love the reads, actually. So I feel really good about the reads. I feel like literally we should have hit the first 9 games here. Dodgers, like I said, got up to a 3-0 lead and just couldn't hold on. Crazy how bad their offense just disappeared. 4-4 on the props. Anyway, short slate today. Tracking purposes, we ended up going down there, so we'll change that. But I mean, basically a break-even day. Alrighty, 7-game slate, so we're going to cover this real quick. Oakland and the Mets. We just haven't seen shit from Oakland's offense, so this is a pretty easy fade for me. They haven't shown me anything. We saw the Mets really come to life last night, so I'll take Mets. Hate paying minus 180, but it is what it is. Don't trust Spence. Don't trust the A's right now. All right, Mariners at the Tigers. I love the Mariners in this spot. Faedo is pitching, but Kenta Maeda is pitching today. I think it's a lock. We've had a bullpen game yesterday. I just hope we don't see Tyler Holton again. That guy is just so damn locked down. Every team I see him face, he locks them down. So I don't trust the Tigers' bats. Bryce Miller's been okay, right? He's got a 5.37 away ERA, but that said, he's pitched pretty good lately, right? Except for Miami, he gave up 6 runs, but other than that, he's been 3-0 and 2 in the games before that. Maeda's been pitching really well. So a couple ways you could look at this. One of these guys are due for some regression. I'm banking it's Maeda. I think we should see the Mariners' bats come to life, right? Lefties are their Achilles heel. So they saw a lot of lefties yesterday. So I think that's why we saw the run total so low. Today should be a lot of righties. So I do expect them to hit more than what they did yesterday. All right, Dodgers Brewers. This is kind of a tough one. You've got Flaherty going up against Tobias Myers. I mean, Jack Flaherty's been really, really good. He's been really, really good. So it's been since 2020 since the Brewers have scored more than 3 earned runs off of Flaherty. So he has a very long track record against this team because he was with the Cardinals. So divisional opponents face each other a lot. If we look at Flaherty's last start at home, wasn't great. Gave up 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 10 Ks, but that wasn't much of a game either. So First way you could look at that, Tobias Myers is going to be his first start versus the Dodgers. He's pitched really well in his last 5 starts. He's only given up 5 earned runs. 3 of those 5 were home games. So it's just more whose offense do you trust more in this situation is really kind of what it comes down to me. I see there's pitch split avenues for both. I just think the Dodgers come on cork today offensively against this guy. First time seeing him. He's a righty. Just everything points to I just don't think the Dodgers get held down like they did last night. All right, Braves at the Giants. Man, the books are heavily favoriting the Giants, which I get. It's Logan Webb at home, but man, this offense is absolute fucking dog shit. So I can't back him. That said, I don't necessarily trust Fried. He's been struggling as of late. So he gave up 4 earned runs versus Colorado and 5 earned runs versus the Marlins in his 2 starts since coming back from the injury list. If we look at Webb, he's just a good pitcher at home. He's got a 2.5 ERA. That said, the Giants' offense has struggled to get to left-handed starters. They've only scored 12 earned runs versus the last 5 left-handed starters they've faced, and it's not like they've faced absolute studs either. So they have just been, really, really struggling to get to those folks. Now, I will say, obviously, Chris Sale we'll give him stud status because he's earned it. But I wouldn't say DJ Hers, Mackenzie Gore, Patrick Corbin, and Andrew Abbott and JP Sears are just absolute studs of the game. So, yeah, I think Fried has an okay day. Do I think there are runs scored? Yes. 11-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. I love the over. There should be runs scored by one of these teams. One of these pitchers will have an off day for sure. All right, next game, Red Sox at the Orioles. Oh, freaking Red Sox bullpen, absolute trash. Let the Rangers score like 8 runs in the last 3 innings. Nick Pivetta going up against Zach Eflin. This is kind of it's like 2 teams in this they're in this weird funk, both of them are. We've got a really bad bullpen on both sides, right? Both their bullpens have had issues. Zach Eflin has been pretty decent since joining the Orioles. Got a 2.33 ERA, so I mean all that's good. If we look at Eflin against Boston, not great. He's 2-0, but he's got a 6 ERA. He tends to just kind of give up some earned runs. So it makes me nervous. And if we look at the batting average for the Red Sox versus Eflin, pretty good, 349. So this squad right now is hitting 349 off of him. So I do think there are runs in this game. I think it's unavoidable with the bullpens and the pitchers. I just don't like Pivetta away, right? I mean, his bread and butter is just blowing fastballs by you and getting strikeouts. I think Boston hits him, or I think Baltimore hits him. So it should be a pretty high-scoring game. Although I thought yesterday was going to be as well. So take that for what you will. But I do see offense today. Like I said, just 2 really bad bullpens, 2 middle-of-the-road starters. Someone's getting shelled here. So I have a feeling it's Pivetta. It's just more often than not when Pivetta gets rocked, it is on the road. All right, Nats at Phillies. I mean, this is a pretty crazy line. Minus 285 for the Phillies. I'd probably lean towards the under with the wind blowing in, but I don't know. If we look at Wheeler, his last game versus Washington was back in 2021. He's pitched really well. He's been 2 earned runs or less in 7 of his last 8 games. For Parker, is going to be his first start against the Phillies. Parker's coming in pretty hot too. He has had 2 earned runs or less in the last 3 games. So 0-0 and 2 versus the Angels, Brewers, and the Diamondbacks. So two pretty solid teams in there that he has blanked. So if we look at the Nats, they do have 5 left-handed hitters, which Zach Wheeler's pitching splits. He does have a 230 batting average to lefties, so more of his weaker side. But if we look at Parker, right, to lefties and righties, he's actually given up the exact same average of 294. So, heavy lean towards the Phillies. Although, like I said, a good left-handed pitcher they've been able to stymie the Phillies, right? So kind of a toss-up. We look at the pitch splits, really shows that the Nats should get to Wheeler. I don't know if they will, but they are, 5th in the fastball, 5th in the cutter, and 4th in the curveball. So combine all those pitches, that's about 80% or 75%-ish of what Wheeler throws. So I do think there is a path to take Parker and the Nationals today at plus 230, if you're feeling so froggy. Although we saw the Phillies bats just come to life last night after the Marlins just got out early on them. So that was pretty cool to watch, actually. All right, Twins at the Rangers. Line doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. I'm perplexed by it. Twins coming off a pretty good series against the Royals, ended up dropping the game yesterday. But the offense has been really hot, and you've got Bailey Ober on the mound, who has just been outstanding. 12 earned runs in his last 9 starts. If we look at Ober, he did pitch against Texas in May, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs. It's just been really good. That said, if when you do get to Ober, it's away. So he does have a 4.13 away ERA. Bradford 2.35. Essentially, this is a bullpen game. He'll probably go 3-ish innings, somewhere in there. But if we look at Bradford, he has been pretty solid. He gave up 1 earned run versus the Yankees, did give up 3 against Boston, and gave up 5 against St. Louis. So there's a path to hit him. And being a lefty, right, does make, Twins are not as good versus left-handed pitchers, but he's not going to pitch the full game. Texas Rangers bullpen is not great. That said, Minnesota's hasn't been stellar either, but I'll take Minnesota's bullpen. They're very, very fresh. They didn't have to use a lot of bullpen arms in that series against the Royals, whereas the Rangers, they definitely had to use some bullpen arms. So Minnesota definitely in a better situation from a bullpen perspective, so give me the Twins there. All right, best bets today. I like the Seattle-Detroit Nerfy. I think Bryce Miller gets it done. I think Faedo has enough to get it done. So at minus 120, I'll take that. Dodgers team total over 4.5. I'm going right back to the well. Let's see if they can stop them back-to-back days. But at plus money, can't turn it down. It's just too high-powered of an offense. Boston-Baltimore over 8.5, minus 118. Going back to the well with Baltimore again on the over. Somebody's getting rocked today in that game. And then give me Dodgers race to 4. So that's kind of a... let's just say we're kind of hedging this team total because I don't think there's any way they don't get the 4. But I think they can do both. And then the last one, Nationals team total over 2.5. That's just kind of a disrespectful line, in my opinion, for an MLB team, especially with the pitch splits looking so good off of Wheeler. I mean, we've seen him give up those runs alone to some pretty deficient teams. So full game over 2.5 with, again, a Phillies bullpen that's not fantastic. So even if Wheeler goes 7 and gives up 2, I trust that in the last 2 innings they can get 1 run off their bullpen. All right, parlays, we're going with the Twins and the Orioles, plus 225. I like that one a lot. And then we're going Dodgers, Seattle Mets at plus 341. So that's what we've got on tap for today. Didn't really put any other leans in there. It just wasn't a ton I liked, honestly. You could go with some first 5 overs, but yeah, kind of a weird day. And then prop leans, I like Jackson Holiday over. We just basically need him to get a hit, a run, or an RBI, just 1 at minus 170. I like Lewis for the Twins. I mean, Royce Lewis is raking. Over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Urshela for the Tigers under 1.5 total bases. That seems a bit high for him. And then Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 total bases. So we need him to get 2 singles, a double, a triple, a home run, something like that. So those are kind of the props. I didn't really like any of the K props. I think the lines are very tight today. So just decided to pass on those. If you made it this far, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you tomorrow.